How to be loved the way you truly desire without having to beg for an introduction. Have you ever loved someone with your whole heart and still felt invisible in their world? There are nights when you turn your back in bed, and even though they're right next to you, the space between your hearts feels wider than an ocean. If your heart is whispering, "I just want a love that's gentle, deep, and truly present," then this video isn't just for you. It's a soft invitation to awaken and come home to yourself. Welcome to the Love Equations, a space where we don't teach you how to keep someone, but how to become someone love simply cannot leave. Subscribe and tap the bell, not so you don't miss out, but so you continue remembering what your heart was born knowing. You deserve to be loved in the way your soul has always longed for. Part 1, The Cost of Silence. Not all pain comes from betrayal. Some pain comes from being forgotten while still standing right next to someone. You're still living together, still sharing meals, doing the dishes, paying the bills, still smiling in front of others. But deep down inside you, there's an empty room, a quiet ache, a kind of loneliness that no one sees. You pass each other in the hallway, brush shoulders in the kitchen, sleep in the same bed, but your hearts haven't touched in a long, long time. I don't need grand gestures. I just want to be seen, heard, touched with presence. Silence isn't always peace. Sometimes it's the silent scream of a heart slowly drifting away without ever leaving the room. What hurts is not physical distance, but emotional absence when the body stays, but the soul has long gone. Part 2. When love gets lost in translation, you say, "I feel like I'm being left behind." They hear, "You're not doing enough." You say, "I just want you to spend more time with me." They hear, "You're failing as a partner." You're not blaming, you're simply longing, but your love is speaking in a language they don't understand. Love doesn't die. It just gets stuck between different emotional dialects. You love with words, they love with acts of service. You crave presence. They express through provision. Real love begins when we learn to translate the soul of the other, not with logic, but with empathy. Hikwasham Part 3, Love cannot bloom from demands. You've said it before. Can you just pay more attention to me? I feel like I'm loving alone. You're not wrong for saying those things, but the real question is, what energy were those words carrying underneath? Longing, or neediness, gentle truth, or unspoken resentment? Sometimes we don't realize that even our softest words are wrapped in the frequency of blame, and the other person, though they may not understand why, begins to shut down. Love doesn't grow in pressure, it blooms in invitation. When you love from fullness, you don't demand, you don't chase, you become present, and your very presence becomes the invitation. Part 4, It starts from within. Before you ask, "Why doesn't he listen to me?" try asking, "Have I truly listened to myself?" Before you ache for a hug, ask, "Have I embraced my own feelings, or have I been running away from them?" Love isn't something you go out to find. It's something you awaken from within and then invite others to dance in. The love you receive is a mirror of the love you give yourself. Every day, those who are clear with themselves don't need anyone else to validate them, and that clarity is what makes you magnetic. Part 5, Emily's Story. Emily used to believe, "If I'm patient enough, he'll change." She didn't complain. She didn't raise her voice. She did everything. Took care of the house, the kids, the meals. But every night she'd turn her back in bed and feel like a ghost in her own life. One day, after a small disagreement, he slammed the door and left. She didn't cry. She didn't chase. She sat in the quiet living room and wrote one sentence in her journal. "I no longer want to live in a relationship where I must hold my breath just to keep the peace." The next morning, she woke up early. She made herself tea. She wrote down 3 things she was grateful for, even tiny things. And for the first time in months, she had breakfast alone, without feeling empty. Emily stopped asking her husband to change. She stopped repeating, "You don't understand me." She simply lived, from the energy of a woman who had chosen to love herself. And then, something shifted. He started asking, "How was your day?" He did the dishes without being asked. He looked at her longer, Not with duty, but with curiosity. Why? Because Emily was no longer a woman waiting to be loved. She was love, and that is the most magnetic state of all. Part 6. The Daily Ritual. Love isn't a big event. It starts in the smallest things, done with deep awareness. Here's a simple ritual. Just 5 minutes each morning. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe. Ask gently, "Sweetheart, what do you really need today?" Write down 3 things you wish to receive from others. Pick one and give it to yourself. Craving a hug? Wrap your arms around yourself. Needing rest? Gift yourself 10 minutes of quiet. Look into the mirror and say, "I love you." You don't have to earn it. You've always been worthy. It may feel silly at first, but your heart needs to hear it from you again and again until it believes. Part 7. Listening to the quiet within. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to earn love by doing more. You just have to return and live like someone already loved, even if no one else has done it yet. I'm not waiting for someone to love me the right way. I choose to love myself in a way that calls the right love home. If something in your heart softened today, stay quiet a little longer. Maybe this is the moment. You're beginning to love again from the inside out. All you really need is to quietly return to yourself like someone you once abandoned inside your own heart. And this time, you choose to come back with reverence. Ask yourself, am I loving myself in the way I want to be loved? Am I living like someone who deserves love? Or am I silently sacrificing, hoping someone will finally notice me? True love doesn't begin when you give up everything. It begins the moment you stop giving up on yourself. Final Whisper Awakening is the greatest act of love. Maybe you're listening to this video with a heavy heart. Maybe you just stumbled upon it because something in the title touched you. Whatever brought you here, let me say this to you. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are simply calling in the kind of love your soul was always worthy of. If today you felt seen, it's not because this video is special. It's because your heart is ready to be heard, and maybe, for the first time in a while, you're the one listening. And if you want to keep remembering every week that you don't have to chase love, you are love, then subscribe to the Love Equations and let every video be a soft whisper, bringing you home to the love you already carry inside. And maybe, just maybe, this video didn't come to fix anything. It came as a soft mirror to remind you you are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are still deeply lovable, exactly as you are, right here, right now.